Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today we are talking about the subject of intermittent fasting. What is it? Do you need to do it? And does it have any benefit? So, why are we talking intermittent fasting? Well, I had a conversation with a guy at work on Friday afternoon, and he was talking about the fact that he'd switched to an intermittent fasting diet, but the fact that he was absolutely miserable in the process. So, he'd been going for long periods of the morning without eating, waiting for his eating window to materialize, but being miserable for that whole period of the morning. And in terms of weight loss, wasn't seeing a great deal of benefit from it. So I thought that if he's having that experience and having that sort of confusion around the subject, then maybe a lot of you are in the same position and could do with a nice, simple, quick, to the point video that highlights what it is and everything about it and all the information you need to know. Now, before I go on, I will say that there is a more detailed article that I've written on ironparadisefitness.com that does go into all of the science behind intermittent fasting and the research and the studies that go with it and support it. So if that's your bag and you want to go into the more of the detail, then head over there to read through all of that information. But for now, we're keeping it really simple, really to the point, and getting right to the heart of the matter and the actual nuggets of information that I'm probably sure you actually just want. Okay, so there is a lot of different intermittent fasting approaches out there, but I'm for now going to talk about the one that's probably the most common and the most widely used, and that's the 16-8 diet. So essentially with any intermittent fasting diet protocol, there is a period where you don't eat, i.e. the fast, and there is a period where you do eat, i.e. the eating bit. And with a 16-8 diet, it essentially means that for 16 hours of the day, you're not eating anything, i.e. fasting. And for the other 8 hours, that's where your eating window is, and then you start to eat all of your food for the day. In practical terms, that usually means around about 8 o'clock in the evening, you would have your last meal. Then let's say, for example, you got up at 8 o'clock in the morning. You've then got to wait another 4 hours until the midday until you can actually get through your 16-hour fast and then start eating. So effectively you're skipping breakfast and skipping any morning food, and then you're into the afternoon between 12 and 8, and that is your feeding window. Within that feeding window, you can have as many or as few meals as you like. You can have huge, great meals, or you can have lots of little different tiny ones. It doesn't really matter. And that's the general approach. And as you'll see on the article that I've written, there are some other health benefits that go with intermittent fasting. But in reality, it comes down to one simple fact, which is the simple fact for any meal timing approach, not just intermittent fasting. And that is being in a calorie deficit if your goal is to lose weight. If you are eating more calories than you need, intermittent fasting is not going to be some sort of silver bullet that means that you're going to still make exponential amounts of weight and fat loss. That's not the case. Intermittent fasting works if you are in a calorie deficit. That's a fact. But so does every other meal timing approach. So if you didn't fast for 16 hours and you ate throughout the day, you would have the same net fat loss goal as any other person out there. What it does boil down to is what your personal preference is. So if you prefer bigger meals in the afternoon, bigger meals in the evening, saving up all of those calories to the end of the day so you don't feel hungry before you go to bed, then intermittent fasting is probably a good strategy for you. If you've got certain medical conditions like diabetes and so on, it's probably not a good option. So bear that in mind when you're sort of making these decisions. But for the majority of people out there, the best meal timing strategy is one that works for you. For me personally, I like to eat every 2 to 3 hours because I like to sort of pick at foods and I like to graze throughout the day rather than have big giant meals. So that's what works for me. But there's plenty of other people out there that do prefer big meals, and there's plenty of people out there where intermittent fasting does make sense and is a good meal timing strategy. But bringing it back to basics, it comes back to your calorie deficit. If you're not in a calorie deficit, it doesn't matter if you're fasting for 16 hours or eating every 2 to 3 hours, you will not lose weight, you will not lose fat. So make sure that your calories are spot on for whatever your goal is. Make sure your macros are properly calculated, specifically your protein, and then the meal timing comes in after that in terms of its importance. So, in a nutshell, if intermittent fasting sounds like something that you would enjoy and would work for you, do it and make sure you're in a calorie deficit to reap the full benefit. So there you go, guys, a quick overview of what intermittent fasting is. Again, if you want all the detail, head over to ironparadisefitness.com to read the full blog. And if you've got any questions about the subject, whack those in the comment section below. If you think I'm an idiot and talking bullshit, drop those in the comments below as well. Good to have a debate with you. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that like button, and I'll see you tomorrow.